on fire.
So we're here with WBA Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Mr. Scott Quigg. Scott, thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Good stuff, good stuff. Right, so what I want to do is talk about your career. So 33 bouts, 31 wins, 2 draws, with a massive 23 knockouts. What a record.
It's not bad. I've since the day I turned pro, I've been working hard and I've built up a nice record there, and it looks good on paper, and it feels good to be unbeaten and be champion of the world.
Doesn't it just? 23 knockouts, that is massive, absolutely massive. Now I'll tell you what, I want to go back to talking about the Monroe fight. Let's go back to that. That was June 2012. The fight was stopped due to a clash of heads.
Well, that was at that point, that was my biggest fight. That was to see whether I could go to that next level. Obviously Rendell Monroe fought at world level and people was tipping him to, it could have been a step too far, and I knew I had trained, and as the fight started and I was moving and everything was going to plan, and when we clashed heads in the third round, it was a nasty cut, to be fair, and rightly so, it had to be stopped. But it gave people a lot of questions, because I was moving a lot, and that was the plan that we'd gone in with, to draw Monroe on and, you know, outbox him. People was thinking I was running and he was, you know, had the upper hand, and he was going to break me down. That's what people was taking from that fight. So obviously I was devastated, because when I was moving and I could see everything he was throwing, and I thought, this is my night. And then obviously when the head clash happened, nasty cut, fight had to be stopped because it was a terrible cut. After that I was absolutely deflated, because I knew I had his number. I knew what I was going to do, and obviously people was saying I was running, I was, you know, moving a lot.
So how eager were you to get back in the ring and basically change everybody's minds? Show everybody what you're really about.
Well, that's what I mean. I was sat in the change rooms afterwards, and I was like, get me back. There's no way. I know I've got his number. And obviously, because I trained that hard, and it had only went 3 rounds or 2.5 rounds, and it got stopped, we went straight to America to get some good training and get some quality sparring. And then when I was over, that's when I got the nod that the rematch had been, it was going to happen, and it was going to happen on the undercard of the return of Ricky Hatton.
And you was over the moon, clearly.
Oh, that was, yeah, I was over the blue moon on that one.
So it finally happened, you two got together and you stopped him in the 6th. So tell us how that felt.
It felt the way that it was going to feel, that's what was going to happen in the first fight. And I generally, and on that, believe that was what would have happened in the first fight. Everything, again, we trained absolutely, we left no stone unturned. We brought in sparring partners from America, and on the night it couldn't have gone any better. The biggest night, the biggest stage of my career, the biggest night, and I performed. And I think that's what you've got to do when you get them challenges. You've got to step up and perform, and luckily I seem to thrive on the more the pressure, the more the challenge. I thrive on it, and I go out there and do what I need to do.
So 6 bouts after that, you went head-to-head with Kiko Martinez. Now, Kiko is known for being a heavy hitter, not to Scott Quigg, because you'd done him in 2. Tell me all about that and how that felt.
That's been the best night of my career. You know, it was my biggest test. It was before the fight. We knew he was dangerous. He's, you know, former world champion. He'd also been in the ring twice with my rival Frampton, and people was saying it was a no-win situation because Frampton stopped him in 9, then he beat him on point. So what really could I do if I stopped him? People was picking me to, if I was going to stop him, was stop him late. Well, Frampton's already done it. And so really the only way I could have got credit from fighting Martinez was to go out and do what I did, and that was obliterate him in 2 rounds.
And it certainly happened.
And it did. You know, that was the only way we could get people going, wow. And the work we put in, the way I trained, the pressure going into that fight was massive, because I put the pressure on myself because I know I thrive on it and I produce under it. And when that uppercut landed and I seen his eyes go, I just pounced on him, and I was like doing the butterfly swimming. So I was windmilling.
Do everything, but you're landed, so he's certainly done the work. Now, since that, the world has wanted to see the main event, the Frampton versus Quigg fight. Now that has finally happened. You must be over the moon. Now that has been scheduled for February the 27th at Manchester Arena. You must be over the moon for that.
I mean, I couldn't have been any happier signing that dotted line. I mean, I won't be having Christmas this year, but when I signed the dotted line, my Christmas had come early, because it's a fight that I've wanted for so long. You hear different sides of the story always. We didn't want the fight, they didn't want the fight. I can guarantee you, we wanted the fight.
So you've put your title on the line. The IBF title is also on the line. Tell me what you thought is going into that, knowing that you were going to be, or could possibly be, world champion, and not only beat Carl, but also take that belt off him as well. What's that mean to you?
It's everything you come in boxing for. Obviously, I come in boxing to become a world champion. I've done that.
Did you believe that from the get-go?
Yeah, I always believed I was going to become world champion. Now, I remember being as a young kid, I always said I will become world champion, and I've always envisioned being world champion, and watching the fighters like Nazi, Eubank, Tyson, Joe, when they was on in early hours of the morning, and my mum and dad would let us stay up and watch it, and you'd go, then sort of, the fight would be over, and you'd be going upstairs back to bed, and you'd be shadow boxing. Oh, I'm going to be champion one day. And I've always, whether the people around me thought I would be, they didn't probably. What I mean is, when I dropped out of school at the age of 14, and I said it's because I'm going to be a world champion boxer, I want to be a boxer. My mum and dad backed that decision. And when my mum and dad were asked that question, did you believe he could go on and make a career out of it? Their answer is, they said we believed he had the desire and he'd give it 110%. And if he didn't, it because he wasn't good enough. But we knew that he would, give it everything he's got, and do what it'd take to give him the best chance of becoming world champion.
So do you take that same sort of mindset into the Carl Frampton fight?
I've always believed I was going to be world champion, and I believe I'm the best, and I visualise that I'm the best, and that's what is the difference. I know and believe in everything I do, and it's not just because I think it, it's because of the way I train, the way I've lived my life. Boxing is my life. Nothing else really matters. It's in a way it's a selfish way to live, because I have a missus. We don't spend as much time as she would like together. Everything revolves around me, and I make that because you get one shot in boxing, and one punch can change a fight. And the way I live has got me to where I am today.
Okay, so going into this fight, ready for the 27th of February, who's supporting you going into this?
I mean, there's going to be one hell of a lot of fans in that arena, and everyone who supported me from the start, all the fans have been. I couldn't have asked for better support, and when they're in that arena, it's going to make life a lot easier when I'm in that ring.
You know what, I've heard them screaming actually. There were some people on the way into the gym I saw today, and it's just crazy the support that you've got. It must be truly humbling.
Without a doubt, when you've got somebody, when you're walking into that arena and there's 20,000 in there and they're all shouting, cheering your name, it's, as well, money these days, it's quite, you work hard for your money, and for people to spend hard-earned money to buy a ticket to come and show their support and cheer me on and celebrate and jump around like lunatics when I'm winning and see what it means to them as well. I couldn't be any more humbled by that support.
Fantastic. So here's a question that I like to ask. I ask all the boxers that we meet the same thing. Now, when you come into a ring, you come into music. Do you put any thought into the music that you come into? Does it mean something? Is it just about the beat? Is it to get you hyped up? What type of music to choose and why?
It's with me. I couldn't come out to music that I've wanted because the music I'm into, the music I like, people think, what the is he coming into? So
what would that be? What are you into?
Oh, well, you've heard my playlist today, haven't you? So I can't really come into Cindy Lauper, Pacana or something like that. So it's, you come out to something that obviously that gets you going, that gets you a bit hyped up, and something that gets the crowd hyped up as well. At the minute I come out to Oasis, Rock and Roll Superstar, I like the song, it gets me going and it gets the crowd going. But a few years back I used to pick the music and there is a thought that goes into it. But again, the songs I would like to come out to just really wouldn't fit the scene. They would for me, but they wouldn't for the crowd and everything. Oh, I think we're going to have to cheer for the other guy.
Fantastic. So it's about to go down. Quigg Frampton, 27th of February. Where can people follow your journey and keep up to date with you?
You can follow all my journey on Twitter at Scott Quigg and on Instagram just Scott Quigg again, and you'll be able to see updates on my training and follow my journey all the way up until the night. And the first picture of my celebration with both belts will be on Instagram straight after the fight.
Fantastic, Scott. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm sure you will do everybody proud on the 27th, and you certainly got our support. All the best, mate. Thank you very much.